The following video may contain harsh language and spoilers for the movie in question. I mean, probably, I don't know. Really just depends on what you consider to be what. Today on Movie Mac Review, we continue this insane journey with the Godzilla Heisei Era. Here's what happened. The revival of the Godzilla franchise comes just 10 years after Terror of Mechagodzilla, starting a storyline that would be told over 7 films from Godzilla Returns to Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. Godzilla Returns. Fishing boat gets wrecked and is found by reporter Maki. He is attacked by giant sea lice, good to know that's a thing, and he finds sole survivor Okamura, who claims he saw the Godzilla. Maki talks to Professor Hayashida and his assistant Naoko, who is also Okamura's sister. When Goji sinks a Russian nuclear sub, the government tells everyone Godzilla is back to avoid all-out war. Then the Russians and Americans say they want to hit Godzilla with nukes, and the Japanese Prime Minister says not only no, but the Japanese version of fuck no. Instead, they fight Godzilla with the Flying Fortress Super X and lure him into a volcano, then blow it up. Godzilla vs. Biollante. After Godzilla teabagged the city and we dropped him into a volcano, Godzilla cells are recovered for science shit with Dr. Shiragami and his daughter Erika. But some asswagon blows up the lab, killing Erika. Enter the psychic, Miki Sagusa. She tells everyone Godzilla is still alive in the volcano, so the government begins creating anti-nuclear energy bacteria with the help of Shiragami. But he secretly uses some of the Godzilla cells to mix with the DNA from a plant and his daughter. This super accidentally creates the botanical monstrosity Biollante. Enemy agents blow up the volcano, releasing Godzilla. Godzilla begins marching his giant dump truck of an ass towards Biollante, and we fight back with the new and improved Super X2 that can reflect Godzilla's heat ray back at him. Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. Spaceship lands in Japan, but it's not aliens, it's future people, including one Emmy and their robot man, M11. They say that in the future Godzilla blows up Japan, and that is the bad. So we're gonna go farther back in time to World War the sequel, and teleport the dinosaur what would be Godzilla away, therefore no Godzilla. But we need to take author Kenichiro, Professor Mazaki, and Psychic Mickey. Why? Shut up. That's why. They take these golden gremlin assholes with them because shut up, future people stuff. Teleportation bullshit works, but the lying liars from the future lied and leave the golden fuzz buckets behind to be exposed to the bomb and become King Ghidorah. But because the timeline is a fickle bitch, Godzilla still happens and blows Ghidorah's head off. Then Emmy rebuilds Ghidorah as Mecha King Ghidorah and drags Godzilla out to sea. Godzilla vs. Mothra, Battle for Earth. Meteor dumps into the ocean, awakening Godzilla, causing a typhoon that exposes Mothra's egg, and awakens the dark emo Mothra known as Batra. Tomb Raider Takuya is recruited by Ando and Masako to go to Infant Island and collect Mothra's egg. Tiny magic ladies known as Cosmos agree to let the egg go, but Godzilla attacks. As he do, Batra shows up, and just all sorts of explosions and violence. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. Using bits and pieces from Mecha King Ghidorah, we build Mechagodzilla. Technician named Kazuma is sent to be part of the operations team and learn how to pilot the mecha and how to karate, because he's expected to judo flip Godzilla? Anyway, Professor and company finds an egg on some bullshit island and get attacked by Rodan. Then they fuck off with the egg. Science chick named Azusa is looking after it when Kazuma comes by because he gets a boner for dinosaurs and steals some plant matter from the lab, which he shows to Mickey. She's back. It has psychic bullshit, and then the egg hatches a baby Godzilla. Godzilla comes for his kid. We send out Mechagodzilla. Rodan swings around for some happy fun times. Then we attach laser blasting jetpack Garuda and make Super Mechagodzilla. Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. When Godzilla cells get sucked into a black hole, they mutate into the vile Space Godzilla because that's how physics and shit works. Then Astro Monster makes a beeline for Earth. Humans send out Mogera. Are you ready for this absolute horse shit? Mobile, Operations, G-Force, Universal, Expert, Robot, Aerotype. Jesus Christ, just why? Anyhow, Mogwai gets its ass beat. Meanwhile, on a remote tropic island, Professor Gondo and Okubo, with the help of G-Force officers Yuki, Shinjo, and Sato, but most importantly Hey Mickey You So Fine, are engaged in Project T. Put a do-what on Godzilla's back and Mickey should be able to control him. Space Godzilla shows up and attacks Little Godzilla, pissing off not-so-little Godzilla. Bang boom, fighting happens. Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. Home base goes kablooey. Godzilla goes into full Super Saiyan mode. Godzilla Jr. disappears. Mickey and new girl Meru go looking for him. G-Force brings in student Kenichi to track Godzilla's potential meltdown. His sister Yukari is a reporter following a story about micro-oxygen created by Dr. Kensaku. They also discover a new life form born of the initial use of the infamous oxygen destroyer. It is dubbed Destoroyah. Just call it fucking Satan von Devil Death. Junior shows up and Godzilla swings around to destroy all monsters down. We do provide some assistance with our Super X-3. Called Heisei for the rule of Emperor Akihito from 1989 until 2019. This is the only time in Godzilla history that the full series was used to tell one story. In Showa, the first 6 films are actually direct sequels to one another and do acknowledge the events of the previous films. But after those, it kind of wanders off into whatever the fuck we feel like. Heisei is tied together by the story of Miki Sagusa and Godzilla's offspring, who thankfully got a full redesign from the bloated fecal matter of Showa. The tone begins quite the same to the previous series. Maki searching the wrecked fishing boat is very dark horror, and blood is present for the violence in many of the first films. Something that was absent in Showa, not entirely, but the difference is undeniable. The monsters are allowed to be frightening too. I can only imagine the dread felt by the youngest of fans when Destoroyah, 300-foot Satan destroyer of worlds, came onto scene. There is a sense of Japanese nationalism injected into the films too. Lots of military porn. Look at those sexy tanks and stuff. The trend of fear of the day was still present in the first 2 films, the terror of the late 80s being genetics and international espionage. But that was tossed away in favor of straight-up fantastical bullshittery. I mean, Space Godzilla and psychic teenagers, that's what we did. Gone were the days of the plucky 8-year-old with a slingshot that was going to teach us the true meaning of friendship. Monster design gets a makeover as well. Keeping with the times, all the monsters are bigger than their Showa counterparts and would still be bigger than the ones to follow in the Millennium Era. But still, the sets are enhanced as well, with the modern skyscraper towering over the big man himself. Must have cost a pretty yen. The new monster designs also really sell the lumbering tanks that these behemoths would be. No more dancing and judo flips and sprinting across the stage. This is the era that earned Godzilla the air of an unstoppable force of nature. When he steps on the scene, it isn't, oh yay, Godzilla is here. It's more, oh shit, Godzilla's here. The technology for building the suits was advanced, with better construction technique, servos and shit. The eyes moved, the lips curled, the nose would crinkle. They do that stuff still, but it's usually done with computers. All the monsters get a beast mode, and everyone gets a laser beam of some kind. Even Rodan gets his Fire Rodan form, which would be used as the inspiration for his look in the Godzilla King of the Monsters film from 2019. In fact, Mothra's sacrifice to power up Godzilla in that film is a direct nod to Rodan doing the same thing in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. But this everyone blasting mentality makes the fights far more explosive. Literally. The set and the costumes are on fire at some points. There are eruptions of flame and deafening roar from beast and rockets and sparks everywhere. For the first time, the destruction dance feels like all-out war. The beatdowns get far more brutal, too. When Super Mechagodzilla is laying into Godzilla, you feel bad for Goji. That shit looks painful. And they even use sound design to great effect. Godzilla's death cry is heartbreaking. The battle cries can fill you with energy. Sounds weird, but when Rodan shows up for the first time, it just sounds like a strong gust of wind instead of the buzzing sound of the Showa era. Like this gigantic terror bird literally sneaks up on the humans because why would they hear him? The English-speaking roles are still mighty awkward. In fact, I would say they're even worse. That was true of most every English speaker in Japanese or Chinese film in the 1990s. Just some weird bullshit that we have to live with. The Japanese actors, though, are much better. far less melodrama and more personality. Takuya, the Indiana Jones knockoff from Godzilla vs. Mothra, is one of the best. Megumi Odaka as Miki Sagusa is, without a doubt, one of the universally beloved humans of the Godzilla franchise. Overall, no one is horrible, most are okay, and some stand out. The thing I enjoy the most is the continued storyline. When the future liars show up and claim Godzilla would wipe Japan out with radiation, they weren't exactly wrong. Sure, they lied about the when and such, but in vs. Destoroyah, when Godzilla begins his meltdown, the radioactive destruction of all Japan and possibly the world is exactly what we are fighting, so they kinda didn't lie. Following the birth, growth, death, and rebirth of Godzilla Jr. was an unexpected treasure. Having Mickey ride along with us was also something that I truly loved to see. The one person who became Godzilla's ride or die. Many things stand out in this franchise. Memorable scenes of profound joy, meeting little Godzilla. Terror, the Destoroyah creatures that are the size of a family sedan literally ripping a SWAT team apart. Excitement and awe. Pick a monster smackdown. And of course, true sadness, as we watched helpless as Godzilla had essentially a nuclear heart attack and died right before us. For all time, no matter what they do, how much money they spend, it will never change the fact. This is the definitive Godzilla series. And in my honest opinion, this is the one worth buying. So let me know what you thought of the destruction marathon that is the Godzilla Heisei series. And thanks for watching.